Okay, so this is a review of the NZG Liebherr R916 tracked excavator. I only got this model for one reason, and I think this is actually a very big reason, or a big idea to put into play, and that is because I ordered a Norscot 320, or also known as a 323 DL, and that was back ordered. So since that was back ordered, I canceled that and got this, and I think that was definitely worth it, although for the increase in price. This goes for around 30 bucks more, the 320 323 DL, but I have to say it's much more detailed and a lot nicer than it. So to start off, it's got all the features that a excavator model would have. The undercarriage rotates, the boom raises, the stick comes in, and the stick comes out. But there's one cool thing that I really enjoy about it, and it's that the bucket actually comes off the quick coupler that the model has, and I think that is a very cool feature to have, especially on an excavator this size, because it's cool to switch the attachments around. So now that you know the functions of it, I'll go through the actual model in more detail. So another great thing that I like about this model are the colors. I like how the cab is a different color than the car body and the house and the rest of the model, whatever terminology you would like to use. The one thing that I don't like about the model though are the tracks, because they don't roll the best, and if you look, they kind of, tend to twist a little, and I'm not the biggest fan of that, but it really doesn't take away from the model that much, because I don't roll the thing around everywhere. But they got awesome detail to them, and they are triple grouser pads, and they are metal, I believe. I'm still unsure if they are metal, but they seem to be metal. But what I really like about them are that they're thin and small, so they make it look the rest of the machine to scale. The drive motor is pretty detailed. I like that a lot, and it's got the steps over here on the frames. It's got them on the front and the back, and then it's got this is hard to do, but it has the tensioner, and I think the tensioner is a little bit too tight because it doesn't want to move. But I mean, again, I don't roll the thing back and forth, so for me it really doesn't matter. The underside is just flat. There's really nothing to it. But you don't display the model upside down. And the other side of the tracks are the same. This side is very cool. At first, I was not a fan of the decals on this machine. Not one bit, but now that I have it, they've grown on me, and I actually do like them a lot. They're painted on very nicely, and they add a very nice touch to the model. This handrail right here is metal. It is a little loose on there. I guess I'll have to focus it a little bit better. But it also includes a mirror, which is just painted silver. It's got these little, I guess, indents right there, and the counterweight has these kind of red, I guess, stripes, and that's one thing that really I didn't like in the beginning, but I've come to like it a lot. And in them is a little indentation there, and over here it's got a little grill right here, and if you rub your finger along it, I don't know if you could hear, but it's like little dots in there, and it represents a texture. But the paint it's kind of thick, or at least to the size of the texture, so it kind of covers it up. And then it's got the 916 decal right there, and the cab, which is white, and I think it makes the machine look completely awesome. It's got the vents over here to pull the air in for the operator, and the railings, like all the railings on the machine, are metal, except for this one right here. I don't know why. Whatever. But I like that a lot. Inside of the cab, it's always hard to see in the review, but it's got the levers for the tracks. It's got the LCD monitor and all the 2 joysticks and the foot pedals. And it also has the antenna on top of the cab, which is cool. I would have liked if they added a warning beacon up top, but I mean, you can't always get everything that you want, right? Now the top of the model is extremely nice. Behind the cab, you have little steps to get in here, and you have the railing right there, and that has the same texture as over here, which I think is very cool. And then you have all your caps up top for your fuel and your oil and everything like that. To get to the engine, unfortunately it doesn't open. It would have been a nice touch if it does, but the two-tone color makes it look very nice. The exhaust right here, I'm 90% sure is plastic, and the paint finish up top is very nice, and within the two-tone it's very crisp paint. Now the boom, which I don't know about you guys, but when I buy an excavator model, I always like when the boom has, I guess, perfect functions, and this one seems to fulfill that, because the stick goes back very far and it also comes in very far, which I think is perfect. Now I'm gonna get to the quick coupler later, but I would like to show you the bucket. I like how the bucket comes in very far, almost to touch the tracks. That's how I usually judge it, so I like that a lot. But anyway, the boom is very nicely made. I'm just gonna raise it. So looking from above, the boom is extremely nice. And one thing I have to say, I like how the boom is thin. This whole model, everything looks to scale on it. There's not one thing that's too big and one thing's too small. I like it a lot. You got the flexible lines coming from the body that lead up to here. These are casted in the boom. And even though they are casted in the boom, they're painted silver to represent them, and I like that a lot. You also got the flexible lines running to the cylinder to curl the stick in and out. And then you got the lines over here running to the bucket cylinder to curl them in and out, and those are flexible as well. Now underneath, the cylinders are very nice. They hold up any position you want. That's what I like about them a lot. And they got the lines running to them. A cool thing that I like on this model, and you don't see this on too many models, are the caps for the cylinders right here. And I like that a lot. Although doesn't really, you don't see that on many machines. It gives it a nice touch, and it makes the boom flow, so to say. Everything leads into the next. It doesn't, stop your eye on it. And lastly, the quick coupler, which I think is the great addition of the model, and I think that most excavators should have this, I guess, feature on it. But the only bad thing about this quick coupler is they didn't add any auxiliary hydraulic lines to lead to it. And I guess they didn't want you to run any other attachments besides a bucket on it. But nonetheless, it's so cool. I don't even have any attachments for it, so I guess you really can't say much about it. But I like how they also added the lifting hooks on the end over here. And how the quick coupler works is just like a real quick coupler. You pick up the bucket right here, and then you slide this. Well, this isn't really like a real one, but how the model works is, and then you just slide the pin through there, and then the bucket's on. But what I actually did was I modified it, I guess you could say. This is my brother, so he actually did, but he glued the pin in the bucket so he wouldn't lose it. So then the only way to put the bucket on and off is from this pin right there. And I think that's how they should have made it. That's how it is on my wheeled version. But here's the bucket. I like the bucket a lot because of the teeth. The teeth are nice and wide, and they stick out very far, and the bucket's also wide. You see on many other excavator models, the buckets are very skinny. They're almost like trenching buckets, and they have 5 teeth on them. I really don't like that at all. I wish they would have added a lifting eye over here on the bucket, but unfortunately there isn't, so there really isn't much we could do about that. And to get the bucket in. And it's just like that, and the features of the bucket are also very nice. It comes back very far, and then it goes back very far as well. I like how far it is able to extend backwards. So overall, a very nice model, definitely worth the money. I would never ordered it if I didn't have that North Scott 320 on back order, but I'm glad that I did get this model. For those that's wondering, with the wheeled excavator, the bucket of the wheeled excavator can fit on this. It takes some wiggling to get it in. I wouldn't suggest putting it in because it feels like it will break, but definitely a great model to get. If you're into smaller excavator models, I say get this over any other of them out there, because this one is just so nice. I mean, the features on it are great. You can put different attachments on it and everything like that. So hope you liked the review, guys, and thank you for watching.